Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Welcome home. As always, completely and totally dependent on where you happen to be in relation to this channel, these messages, this energy, this week, etc., etc. We are talking about Monday, January 9th, excuse me, through the 15th of 2023. How about that? Very exciting, right? So let's get at it. Monday, Leo moon. We start with the Leo moon. We have a quincunx 2 retrograding Mercury in Capricorn, a square to retrograding Uranus in Taurus, Venus in Aquarius trines retrograding Mars in Gemini, and the Leo moon, quincunx is the Sun and Neptune, and then opposes Saturn. So here's the deal. This is a day to kind of internalize and solidify your plans regarding that sense of home, right? And when we talk about home, we're talking about something that is better felt than spoken. How you experience what feels like home, what smells like home, what tastes like home, what sounds like home, what makes you feel as though you are home, right? Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so as Venus is trining Mars, very pre-direct, right? So Mars is still retrograde. Please know that now is the time to craft your visions into action steps, right? As Mars goes direct, you're going to want to create motion. And the key is to make sure that you're going in the direction you're choosing, right? Toward your pleasure, toward your desire, toward your needs and wants. So the key here is to allow for any kind of last minute heart insights, right? And don't be drawn into kind of identity or worth challenges. Just keep remembering that if you're leading with your actions and your heart, you always win, even when it feels like it's not immediate, right? On Tuesday the 10th, that Leo moon quincunxes Pluto in Capricorn, and then the moon moves into Virgo. And then in the afternoon, that Virgo moon is going to quincunx Jupiter. So Tuesday might feel like a day that something is kind of like pecking at you, right? Something that you feel like you forgot, or that you missed, or even that you lost. Dredge through your dream time, see if you find any gems or treasures there. And whether or not you do or don't, this Tuesday is a day to be in service, to be in function, right? Function. Take care, and by that I mean deep care of you, of yourself. Don't overpromise things. Do not overextend, right? Resist the urge to put yourself out too far. Be present and focus on being as your one job, and let that be enough, right? On Wednesday, the 11th of January, with that Virgo moon, we see a square to retrograding Mars in Gemini. Mercury in retrograde squares Chiron in Aries. And then we go back to the moon, doing some dancing aspects, right? We have a quincunx to Venus and Chiron. We have a trine to Mercury and Uranus. And both of those last two are in retrograde. Well, hello, friend. Yeah, this week, I'm telling you. So on Wednesday, you may have kind of overnight frustrations, right? That haunt you. It may feel like you feel powerless, you feel impotent, you feel unable to affect the action or change or beingness that you want to, right? That you feel like you want to express. As the day moves on, though, consciously choose to realign, right? Focus on your depths. Remind yourself of how far you've come, right? It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. And as that, you know, we have a beautiful, great, wow, hello. A beautiful grand earth trine. Oh, I see what's going on here. Look at that. We're not taking this, but we're turning it. Anyway, as this day moves on, we end up witnessing a beautiful grand earth trine with Mercury and Uranus and the moon. So here's the deal. A complete and total shift of your expression and your feeling is absolutely possible, no matter how that day starts. So keep reaching, keep deepening, keep choosing yourself, right? Keep choosing to remind, right, yourself of how far you've come, of what, of all the work that you have done, right? Of how you have healed. Focus on your the healing today as opposed to the needing to heal, right? Allow for those triggers, allow for those places where you know you need to do that work. But today is a day to focus more on what you have the capacity to celebrate, right? On Thursday, January 12th, the moon in Virgo trines the sun, opposes Neptune, quincunxes Saturn, and then we see Venus in Aquarius sextiling Chiron in Aries, and Mars in Gemini going direct, woohoo, at 2:56 p.m. Central Time. And then that moon is going to trine Pluto before moving into Libra in the evening. So on Thursday, reel in your behavior that resembles diva-esque behavior, right? No histrionics, no self-aggrandizement, no look at me, none of that. Absolutely not. Mars is direct after 72 days of retrograde. You are going to, well, let me put it this way. You may feel this as high impulse, like a willingness to just behave in the most, I don't even want to say instinctive, because it's a diva way today, right? So choose the difference between action and overaction, right? It's a big deal. Choose the difference between expression and overexpression, right? When in doubt, shh, just be quiet. When in doubt, do something. When in doubt, check, triple check, right? Mars is newly direct and Mercury is still retrograde. That Virgo moon is going to create very deep capacities towards self-criticism. And in this new Mercury or Mars direct energy, be very mindful, because the echoes today may be far louder than you expect or wish, or that will be helpful to you in the future, right? So just be mindful. Just be really, really mindful of reeling yourself in from trying to just jump right on out there, right? The ledge is going to be real narrow. So be careful. On Friday, the 13th, did you hear that, Triskaidekaphobics? It's the luckiest day of the year. Friday the 13th of January, we have a Libra moon opposing Jupiter in Aries early. Then the sun in Capricorn, of course, will sextile Neptune. And then that Libra moon trines Mars in Gemini, of course, now direct. And then squares Mercury, which is still retrograde, opposes Chiron, and trines Venus. So also today, Mercury in retrograde is trining the North Node, right? So this is a day of revision. It's a day to really witness your long-term planning and revise any plans that might not be in alignment with those action steps toward your long-term intentions or goals. Always, of course, allowing for serendipity, but I mean, the bottom line is you know where you don't want to be, so that helps you narrow where you want to go, right? On Friday, your compassion might be met with kind of anger today, or it may be completely misinterpreted by the person toward whom you are exerting or exhibiting or offering compassion. The key here is to remember that how someone else is reacting to you is all about them, but how you react to their reaction is absolutely about you. That is your story and that is your karma. So default to that sense of home, right? And lead with compassion no matter what you get in return. May I say that again? Lead with compassion no matter what you may get in return. Remember, it's your story and your karma. On Saturday the 14th, that beautiful Libra moon quincunxes Uranus and Neptune, then trines Saturn. Venus in Aquarius trines Uranus, also in retrograde, of course we know this. And then the Libra moon squares the sun in the evening. This is kind of a lightning fast shift day, and it might really affect your heart's awareness. It might open doors for you to create kind of like a follow suit shift in your life, right? So you witness something, it shifts something in your heart, and then a whole new fractal potential patterning opens up in your life. Don't resist that, right? Do not resist it. Seek the clarity of what is true. Really work to keep your ego in check, right? This is heart work. This is creation. And it can be as widely or narrowly creative as you want. And you can also completely ignore it. But it is an entirely new pattern. So be mindful of the places that you could experience shift. On Sunday, the 15th, the Libra moon squares Pluto, and then the moon moves into Scorpio at 6:08 Central Time. I mean, that's before coffee, so we're going to call it a whole day almost of Scorpio moon, right? At least here in the Central Time Zone. Then that Scorpio moon is going to quincunx Jupiter in Aries and Mars in Gemini, and then sextile Venus in retrograde. So this is a day of integration. Here's the deal. Uranus is still powerfully square to Venus. So your feelings are still really finding places to land. Just allow that, right? It's not about instant compartmentalization. You really want to allow, we really want to allow these feelings, these thought processes, these new patterns, these new awarenesses, right? This potential for new capacity. They need to find places to land or to hover, right? This is important. So they might not have to land right away. They might need to synthesize through a few layers of awareness, through a few layers or dimensions of your consciousness or even your meta-consciousness. Just let that happen, right? Be compassionate to yourself as well. And that Scorpio moon is really going to widen your ability to kind of it's going to shift your ability to allow those feelings, those awarenesses, those integrations to take root, right? And seek out deeper places of union, right? Because that Scorpio energy wants to go deep. It does not like being vapid or shallow. So breathe, right? Don't move just yet, even though you've done all this planning work for so long. Just feel into your capacities, right? Flex into your spirit, not your presence or your expression, right? Flex into your spirit, not into your presence, your 3D presence, or even your 3D expression. Kind of stay in the hover, in the meta, right? In the maybe, what if, could be, possibility, right? If you stay in that place, you're allowing synchronicity, serendipity, all of those things to kind of run the show instead of attempting to assert our own control. So this week is really a week of gel, of process, of integration, right? Especially after last week, which was a really challenging week. This week is equally as challenging, but because all of that retrograde motion needs time for condensation, right? It needs time to settle so that we can find out what's going to stick and what is junk that's going to float away. So make room for those inward and outward shifts that this energy is all about, right? We're coming up on springtime. That is the time of motion, blooming and blossoming. This is the time of rest. This is the time of gel. This is the time of process and integration. And please let me tell you, right, we think that winter and this time of year is a time of stagnation, and it's not, right? This time of year is a time of compacting our energy, right? Gathering our presence, gathering our capacity, so that when the time comes to move, to grow, to shift, to change, to bloom, to blossom, that we have done the work necessary. And guess what? Life is just a series of these cyclic motions where we hibernate or rest and then extend and unfurl. This is how everything grows, not just us. And we do it in microcycles, and we do it in macrocycles, and we do it in, I saw you, friend. We do it in co-cycles, and we do it in singular cycles, and depending on who or what you are and how you believe, you might think that you're doing all of it yourself. You might know that you're doing all of it yourself. You might witness it as being a co-creation. You might witness it as being a source of your own creation. You might witness it as the diversity of the universe taking root within you. You might witness, I am the diversity of the universe. There is no diversity. There's just me, and all the diversity lies within me. All of those things are absolutely, positively correct, completely dependent on your perspective, your perception, and your so choosing. So however you're going to process it, however you're going to integrate it, is absolutely correct for you. Why, thank you. Oh, look at that. Now see, that's funny. That makes me laugh. So anyway, this Mars direct is going to be felt, right? Yeah, absolutely. 72 days of retrograde in Gemini, right? This is about potential. This is about possibility, right? And now it's going to be time to really create those like wheels on the ground functionality. And so if you can do that with great care and resist jumping off the starting line too soon, it will just be setting you up. Thank you. For success later, which is really, isn't that what we all want, right? All right, let's have conversation. We've got Temperance and the King of Wands. So this is about taking your impulses, taking your ideas, taking your visions, and really being able to synthesize them, right? Temperance is all about taking your past and your knowledge and your experience and really synthesizing it into wisdom. And so the King of Wands is all about how do we wisely move forward, right? I'm not going to expend my energy in a way that will deplete me or that will have any waste in my motion. So this was the day that we talked about drafting your visions, right? Creating action steps and allowing for last minute insights, right? When you combine two things, when you really deeply ask, what does this mean to me? How did what I've learned, how do I put that into my forward motion, right? Again, your actions always have to be wrapped in your heart, right? That's how you always create that win situation. So whatever it is that you're consolidating, synthesizing, amalgamating, is that a word? Amalgamating? Making an amalgamation of, I don't know, one or the other. However you're recombining that to become stronger, to become more, right? This is about minding your impulses and doing it in a way that serves your long-term planning, right? That's a really big deal. On Tuesday, we've got the Sun and the King of Pentacles. So this is about absolute joy and knowing that you're fully resourced, right? Talking about something, you feel like you missed it. You feel like you forgot it, right? When in doubt, service. When in doubt, doing a thing. Taking deep care of you, right? King of Pentacles knows how to manage resources 100%, right? There's no wasted anything in that King of Pentacles energy, and that creates the Sun, right? Focus on being as your one job and know that that is enough, right? Taking deep care of you. Do not overextend, do not overpromise. That's not necessary. Just focus on being you and know that that is perfect. Wednesday, Five of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, Five of Wands is that card of posturing, right? Like, my impulses tell me, my inspiration and motivation tells me that I'm right, right? But I'm not going to move on it. I'm just going to stand here and know that I'm correct. The Knight of Pentacles is about stamina, endurance. It's about moving forward at your pace, knowing that that pace is absolutely correct, right? So we talked about this as a day that might have frustration or feelings of powerlessness that kind of feel like they're hunting you, right? An immobility, an inability to actually get things done in the way that you want to. Here's the deal. As the day progresses, focus on your depths and remind yourself of how far you've come. This guy, he goes everywhere. How far has he come? The Knight of Pentacles is the guy who just keeps going, right? He is absolutely the tortoise. And so there's all this hoopla, faldra, and blah, blah, blah over here. Or there's this guy who just says, okay, well, this is where we're going. This is how we get there. This is where we're going. This is how we get there. And that sounds like drudgery, but guess what? It's not. That's called commitment. That's called dedication. That's called devotion. And it doesn't do this. It does this, right? So allow for that shift in your expression. We have that grand earth trine that evening. Fall into that energy. Allow yourself to just do, right? Okay, on Thursday, we talked about reeling in your diva-esque behaviors. When in doubt, be quiet. When in doubt, do. When in doubt, check, and triple check. Knowing that we might create some very deep self-criticism if we were to go off, if we were to move impulsively, if we were to go kind of off the cuff, right? If we were just to like shoot from the hip, those kinds of things. So we've got the Eight of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Eight of Swords is a card that says, I believe I am stuck. I believe I am bound, right? we're never really stuck. We're just not moving, right? My friend Summer says this. I love it. It's one of my favorite quotes. And that's the bottom line. This Eight of Swords is a card where you believe you're stuck. But the fact is, you're just not moving. It's your beliefs that are keeping you there, right? It's your willingness to accept an old story or a limiting belief or an outdated cycle that is keeping you where you are. Now here's the deal. We've got the Four of Pentacles, which is a card of hoarding, right? It's a card of refusing to share, refusing to open your hand and allow for a free exchange. So how are you keeping yourself stuck, right? And again, we talked about this as being a day where you have the potential to really create a very loud echo. So be mindful of what you're emitting, because you may end up hearing it for a while, and that is not what we want to hear. Or, I mean, it might be what you want to hear, but it would seem that this might not be an ideal thing that you want to keep coming back to you. So check where you're holding yourself in place, right? When in doubt, do. When in doubt, check, check, triple check. And that check is your own, right? You're checking yourself. On Friday, the 13th, wow, look at that. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Again, swords are always about ideas, right? And so this is what you believe, right? This is a card that technically is about loss, betrayal, sadness, sorrow. But here's the deal. Because it's swords, it is about your beliefs around loss or betrayal. And that's not a judgment. It's not a blaming thing, right? We all have beliefs and feelings around what we've lost, and that's okay. We have feelings around the ways we've been betrayed, and that's okay. We have experiences of sorrow or sadness, and it's how we choose our perspective that creates our the echo of our situation, right? Now here's the deal. You can change your mind and change your life, but you have to go through the feelings, right? You just have to. So this is the day that we talked about how compassion might be met with anger today, or absolutely be misinterpreted, right? Misinterpreted is the key here. And again, how another person reacts to you is all about them, but how you react to their reaction is your reaction, right? So again, we talked about this as being your story and your karma, always defaulting to home. Ace of Pentacles says you have the resources. You know, right, the way. Here, you know the way through, right? This is offering you a way through to something new. So how are your expectations being processed, being cemented or released, right? Released. Look at that beautiful heart, right? So you get to release it. You get to have a brand new experience should you choose to resource yourself in a different way, to ground yourself in a different way, to stand in a different perspective. You have that choice. It's not always easy, but you have that choice. On Saturday the 14th, we have the Ten of Swords. Wow, what a swords beautiful journey this week, right? And the Page of Pentacles. Look at that. Each sword is paired with a pentacle, asking you to come right back down to earth. Okay, that's your idea. What's the reality? That's your idea. What's the reality? This is your thought. Is it true? Right? Good stuff. So Ten of Swords is, I'm done. I have no more capacity, right? My beliefs have destroyed something. My experience, me, my whatever it is, my relationship, my work, my home life, anything. This is, I'm done, right? I am at rock bottom. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Pages are always energy that's coming into your field in some way, right? A person who's going to share something with you, something that you're going to witness or be given or have shared with you, a new opportunity, a new way to witness your resourced capacity, right? So we talked about this as a lightning fast shifting day that shifts your heart awareness, right? That can then open doors for you to create a follow suit shift in your life. So here's the deal. Wherever you feel like you are at rock bottom, there's a gift. It's coming. It is coming for you. It might be a new idea. It might be simply something that passes by. It might be something that you read. It might be a podcast you listen to. It might be this video. Who knows? It doesn't matter. The key is don't resist it, right? Seek the clarity of what is true and keep your ego in check, knowing that this is heart work, because this is your heart, right? This is all about your heart. And those places where we are at rock bottom are the places we have to start. Scary, the depths, right? But that's what happens. On Sunday, we've got the Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Okay, now, I like the way this ends up, okay? So, Five of Pentacles is about feeling scarcity, feeling like we have been left out. We have lost something. We have been forgotten, right? It's like we are outside. But here's the deal. We have this beautiful transformation that comes in, right? In the form of the Queen of Wands. This is the divine counterpart of our beginning of this week, right? So the Queen of Wands is in embodiment of that heart energy, that juice, that fire, right? The things that set you on fire. So have you lost your fire? Have you lost it, right? So the question becomes, if this Sunday is a day of integration, of allowing a place to land for your feelings, but allowing them to have the space, right, and the dynamic interplay potential of where they're going to land, right? They're never going to leave you out. You're always there. So breathe. Don't move yet, right? Feel into your capacity and flex your spirit, not your presence or your expression. Flex your spirit, right? Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. Flex your spirit. So as we are in the process of integration this week, sometimes it's a good idea to just shh. When in doubt, shh. If you don't know how something's going to land, just choose silence and allow it to move where it wants to go, right? Where it feels most at home, not perhaps where you want to shelve it. So just allow. We also have this beautiful number 41 card, Cosmos, right? Come on, this is gorgeous. Look at that. It's a full moon. We just had that full moon. Look at all that. It's lovely. Let's get at this. Dun, 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 dun. Whoop. I'll get there, y'all. Hold on. I need two hands, though. All right. The cosmos is creativity in all forms. This is a sign to place your attention on creative projects. They will be successful. Remember that all of life is created, and you're always co-creating with the divine. Really? Why, yes. Yes, in fact, we are. Thank you very much. The cosmos represents the principle of infinity and the vastness of energetic exchange of consciousness influencing all living things. This teaches us that every intention we set is, in fact, contagious with the power to influence others. Really? We're entangled at our deepest energetic place, so we can't help but have an effect on others, from an individual level to a global one, right? We talked about how you shift and find your perspective in terms of what it is that you're creating, whether it's your creation, co-creation, or whatever. This is a sign to remind you to open up to the well of creativity deep within you and be mindful of your thoughts and actions. Both influence your outer world. No kidding. That's what we just talked about. More importantly, keep taking action toward your goals, as the cosmos responds perfectly to manifest your highest destiny. Expect to be inspired and meaningfully touch others with all you create. So let's talk about the difference between stillness and stagnation, right? We talked about the fact that this is winter, and winter looks like stagnation, when in fact it is simply stillness. It is the gathering of resources so that we may be in full power to create when the conditions are right. Right, this is about vastness, right? Vastness. So your focus is here, you're lacking, and you're gonna feel it, right? Mars and Gemini going direct, limited, unlimited potential, limitless possibility, right? That's what you have, that's what you are at your core. Allow yourself to integrate it, right? Let those lessons, let those awarenesses, let those experiences and that knowledge you've gained find the right place to land, right? Resist the urge to shove the blocks into where you think they should go. Allow them to find their place, right? Integration, that's what we're doing. Yeah, big blessings, guys. Take care.